How's it going, everybody? It is Charlie here, and welcome back to another video on the Chatting Leeds YouTube channel. Hope everyone's doing all right today, as always. It is time for another installment of Bite-Size Leeds on the channel. All the latest goings on in the wonderful world of Leeds United Football Club. So just before we get into it, guys, please smash that like button. It really does help get the video out there and get more eyes onto the channel. Please subscribe if you are brand new as well. We're on the road to 3,000, as you all know. Let's try and get me there as soon as possible. Hit that notification bell, and of course, get all of your thoughts and opinions in the comment section down below. I do read all of your comments. I may not respond to them all, but I do read them so that I'm obviously have a gauge of what people are feeling at the time. So yeah, let's jump straight in, shall we? It's mainly going to be focused around the managerial searches, this one, guys. As obviously there's been a little bit of news regarding the search today. Brendan Rodgers, then, let's start with him. Now, obviously, it has been made clear that the 49ers wanted him as their first choice. They've made initial inquiries, but Brendan Rodgers has reportedly turned down Leeds United. He has said no to the project amid interest from Celtic. I think he's set to make a return to Scotland to manage Celtic once again, which is a shame. Obviously, Brendan Rodgers would have been my number one pick as well. I actually rate the ambition from the 49ers, even having a discussion with him in the first place. But I always kind of knew deep down that Brendan Rodgers would not want to work in the Championship. You know, he's had recent jobs. Obviously, Leicester, he won the FA Cup with them. He was the manager of Celtic, where he won loads. He was Liverpool manager as well. Rightly or wrongly, he's probably got his own standards of where he would want to work, and understandably, you know, from his point of view, I don't think Leeds United is an appealing job at the minute, just given the fact that we are obviously in the Championship. If we'd have stayed up and gone for Rodgers, I think it could have been a different discussion. But the fact that we're in the Championship, and let's be honest, it's not 100% guaranteed that Leeds will come straight back up, as much as we all hope we will. But I can understand to a degree why Brendan Rodgers has said no to Leeds United. Obviously, Stuart Webber as well, the director of football hunt. Just very briefly, guys, obviously it does seem like he is edging ever closer to Leeds, as apparently, according to a source from LUFC Fan Zone, they've said that obviously Leeds United are willing to pay the compensation fee to get Stuart Webber out of his contract early at Norwich so that he can come in and obviously take care of this transfer window. But Leeds are also looking at short-term appointments in terms of a director of football to focus on this window as well, should they not be able to get Stuart Webber in sooner, which is interesting, obviously, because I don't know, guys, hit me up in the comments. Would you rather Leeds wait longer to get Webber, or do you think we should get someone in as soon as possible, even if it is on a short-term deal, just to help with this window? I'm a bit 50-50. I can understand why they do both of those things. Obviously, on one hand, I understand that they want someone in as quick as possible so that the recruitment can begin. But I also understand that if they want Webber, then they may want to wait a little bit to get him over the line. The amount of times that Leeds United have rushed decisions in the past is an absolute joke. So it would be nice if we maybe take a little bit of time and get the right man in for the job. That's the same with the managerial hunt as well. So obviously now Brendan Rodgers has pretty much ruled himself out. There are three main candidates which have already held initial discussions over Zoom, according to Sky Sports. And then the formal interviews will take place at the beginning of next week. So hopefully we should have an appointment by around this time next week, or like Thursday, Friday next week, which is good to know. So the three leading candidates, as we all know, Daniel Farke, formerly of Norwich City as well. Then we've got Scott Parker, whose last two jobs, were Bournemouth and Fulham, where he achieved promotion to the Premier League with both. And then Carlos Corberan, of course, who is obviously known to Leeds United after being in the backroom staff of Marcelo Bielsa. He then moved on. He worked at Olympiacos for a little bit, but then he came back to England to manage Huddersfield. He got them to a playoff final, and then he is currently at West Bromwich Albion. Apparently, his release clause at West Bromwich Albion is only 2 million, so it'd be an absolute steal if we could get Carlos Corberan in. As I say, he knows the club and he did wonders with West Brom last season. He took them from like, was it bottom of the league to pushing for a playoff spot. So he is experienced in the Championship and obviously he knows the club. Now, out of those three, this is just my opinion. My preference would be Corberan for the reasons that I have just stated. The fact that he knows the club and he's got plenty of experience in the Championship as well. Now, I understand people say, well, what's he done? What's he won? How many promotions has he had? I get that. It's just my preference. I've watched his teams play football and I really like it. I like what I see. So I would choose Corberan. Scott Parker for me, I definitely don't want. I can't quite put my finger on why I don't want Scott Parker. I just think his whole demeanour, his whole attitude, I just don't think suits Leeds United at all. Yeah, he's won 2 promotions with 2 different teams, which bodes well for us if he came in. But I've also heard that he looks quite set on joining Leicester as well. So hopefully Leicester get Scott Parker because again, he could come to Leeds and he could get us promoted and I could love him. But it's just his attitude and his demeanour. And it didn't really end well for him at Bournemouth. And I just thought, nah, not for me. So for me, it would either be Corberan or Daniel Farke, sorry. Now, Daniel Farke, I understand what people are saying makes more sense to a degree because of the promotions. But my only worry with Daniel Farke is that, yeah, he could get us promoted and that's all well and good. But he was unable to keep Norwich in the Premier League on a number of occasions. He went straight back down and straight back up and straight back down with them. Now, a massive caveat for that is that someone at work was actually telling me today that regarding Farke, on one of the promotions when he went up, they only spent 9 million. They spent 9 million quid. So obviously, I think if it's Webber that comes in or whoever it is, the 49ers will inject a lot more money into Leeds United should we get promoted. So hopefully that could go in his favour. So there's pros and cons to both. I do think it'll be Corberan or Farke now. I can't see it being Scott Parker, and I'm hoping it isn't. But if it is, we'll just need to get on with it. But yeah, my pick would be Corberan. However, I do think it'll either be Corberan or Daniel Farke. Just a very brief bit of transfer news. Obviously, I did speak about Tyler Adams yesterday and that Nottingham Forest were interested in the American midfielder. Apparently, Liverpool are now sniffing around him as well. And apparently, he is valued at £40 million. I thought his release clause was 30, but apparently, I've seen a few stories flying about that he is now worth £40 million. Whether Liverpool would pay that for him, I don't think so. I think if he is to leave Leeds United, and apparently he has asked to leave as well. Well, actually, I've heard that he's asked to leave, and then I've heard that he said he wants to stay. So again, you're never going to get a 100% answer on that, given the circumstances. But I think if he is to leave, I think it'll be like a bottom half Premier League team, maybe, in which he joins somewhere that he can slot right into. But yeah, that's all I've got on this episode of Bite Size Leeds, guys. Really hope that you've all enjoyed it. If you have done, please smash a like on the video. Please subscribe if you are brand new. Hit that notification bell. And of course, get all of your thoughts and opinions in the comment section down below. And I will see you in the next installment. Enjoy the rest of your evening, and I'll see you in a bit. Cheers.